Welcome back, everyone. So today I'm going to be showing you my finished community Paladarium. So we'll start off at the bottom and work our way up. So down here at the bottom I have my water section, which I made in my last video about this Paladarium, which if you haven't seen it, it's called, it's like part 1 to this video, and I will link it, or at least put the title of it in the description, so I want you to go check that out if you haven't already. Alright, so down here, this is the water section, and I'm kind of doing a quick little overview, and as you can see, it's got Neon Tetras. I have 6 in total. You can see about 4 or so. I'll have to wait until the camera will focus. I have no idea where the other 2 are. The camera's not focusing. I'm not sure why. But now I have 6 Neon Tetras for the water. I also have added these plants onto this little branch that I have down in the water. And then right over here, as you can see, I only have one of my bromeliads right here, because my other bromeliad, which was right here in the sphagnum moss, right there, it wasn't doing super great, so I decided to take it out, so that way, if it did end up dying, then it wouldn't be a dead bromeliad sitting in here, and I wanted to just see if I could save it, which right now it's doing pretty good. But this bromeliad right here, the one that's still remaining, it has a little pup right here coming out of the bottom, so I'm pretty excited about that. Now, as far as everything else, nothing has changed except for the background and the inhabitants. So I decided to take out the window box background just because I didn't really like it that much, and my lizards kept on hiding in it, and I kind of wanted to be able to see them, and if they were going to hide, then they can hide anywhere else in the cage, in the plants or in the wood. But I decided to make a terrarium putty background, which was invented by, I believe it was invented by Reptiliadis, who is another reptile YouTuber, and I want you to go check out his channel if you don't know who he is, because he does a ton of really cool stuff with his reptiles. And so, I ended up making a terrarium putty background, which I'll put the ingredients and stuff and how to make it in the description, but I also ended up adding a pot, like a little flower pot, mounted into the side of the background, which now I have 2 creeping fig vines growing in it, which are, one of them is doing pretty good, the one on the left, the one on the right's not doing super great, and I ended up having 3 lizards in it now. So last time you only saw this lizard, Philip II, he's my Green Anole, right here. I've had him for about 3 years now, so they'll live about 8 years. But I was mentioning in my last video that I was going to be putting in a Mediterranean House Gecko that I caught in Florida, except she keeps escaping. Well, she escaped once again after I ended up catching her, but don't worry, because I have her now. It's just that she's always hiding in the background. Like, whenever I had her in here, whenever I had the window box background, she would always hide in that. And now this background is starting to kind of flake just because I've got this really hot basking light right here. So that way my lizards can bask and get UVB, because it's a mercury vapor bulb, if you didn't already know that. And if you didn't know that, then that means you probably didn't watch my other video, which I already told you, go check it out so you can see how I set this cage up. But, so she's always hiding in the background, and I have no idea where she was. Before this video, I was trying to get her out, and I have no idea where she is, though, because there's just so many places that she could hide. But I've been kind of looking over at this guy quite a bit in the video, and I'm sure you guys who have seen the first video are wondering who he is. This is a long-tailed lizard. I got him the same day that I got my Neon Tetras, last week on Sunday, and he's doing great. He's doing absolutely fantastic. There's been no aggression between him and Philip, because I guess the cage is just big enough that they're able to have their own territories, and they're just able to get along pretty well. But he has really, really, really pretty white markings. So I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit, but sorry about that plant in the way. But he has really pretty white on him, like a white stripe going down his back and over his eye, little pretty white speckles, and he's got like this long, crazy, curly tail that goes like, it's really long. That's why they're called the long-tailed lizard, is because they have a super long tail. But, I really wish that I could get my Mediterranean House Gecko out. If you don't know what those look like, just Google them. They're really pretty, and they can kind of change color between like a whitish tan to like a darker color. Like, that's what mine has been doing. It's whenever she's sitting on the wood, my wood is a very light white color. The camera kind of picks it up more as an orange, but it's a lot more of a white color. Whenever she's sitting on that, she's like a pale color, and whenever she's on the background, then she's like a dark brown. But they're an amazing animal. They're really easy to take. It's just that since mine was wild, she's just very skittish and doesn't really like people very much, which, for those of you guys who are like, why are you taking lizards out of the wild, that's the only one that I took out. And that type of lizard I got in Florida, and they're not native. Like, the name even kind of tells you. They're from an entirely different continent. They're Mediterranean house geckos, not Floridian house geckos. So, like, I'm not sure if there's such a thing as a Floridian house gecko. But they're an invasive species, and the law states that if you catch an invasive species and you release it, you can get arrested if somebody, like, calls the cops on you, because they're not supposed to live in Florida. So, I was basically doing Florida a favor by taking that gecko out. Also, I really wanted a house gecko. So that's why I took her out, is just because they're not even supposed to live in Florida. But this is my Paladarium, and it's finished. It is a exoterritorium, measuring in at 18 inches by 18 inches for the footprint. It's 24 inches tall, and it's a very nice terrarium. Once again, if you haven't already checked out my other video on this, on me setting up the cage, I encourage you to go do so. And, if you haven't already, then please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy what you're seeing and you want to see more. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you thought it was helpful or interesting, then I encourage you to like the video. If you have any questions or comments or anything, put them in the comments section, and I'll get right back to them as fast as I can. And in the background, you can hear my parakeets going crazy. So, once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. God bless you all, and have a great day.